Hi, welcome to The Truth with Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 122 coming at you. Lions. Yes, they lost the 49ers. We're going to talk a little bit about their best moments of the season and do a little bit of a Super Bowl preview.
Super Bowl preview. A very emotional Super Bowl preview.
Well, it's only emotional because the Lions aren't there.
Correct. And we're going to talk about the Niners game, and we're going to talk about the season as a whole. We're going to try to make this as positive as we can. Let's emphasize that right off the bat.
Positive. Lots of things to be thankful for. A couple of quick off-the-top stuff. Tigers. Nope. Can't talk about the Tigers. Red Wings?
Sure.
Please make the playoffs.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Pistons? Whew, they're terrible.
Yeah, a bunch of war criminals on the Pistons. That's enough.
I'm hoping they do something at the trade deadline just because they're terrible.
We'll talk NBA next episode, and we will not be talking Pistons next episode. Okay. I'm taking a break.
All right. We need to thank the fans.
I agree. Let's thank the fans.
Last month, I think we've gained a lot of momentum, lots of new followers with all our Lions love. So thanks, fans, and we appreciate the love and support.
Yeah, shout out to fans, and also shout out to all the crossing guards out there. This is a note I wrote down earlier in the week. On my ride to the office, I passed the crossing guards, and on cold days, they're still there plugging. So I just want to shout out to crossing guards. I think they're severely underrated in today's society.
I agree. I don't think crossing guards get enough love.
They should get more shout outs, but I saw, and I always wave to the one crossing guard I see every day at the same time. He's just my guy, so I just want to shout out all the crossing guards.
Okay, I'll take that. We need you acknowledge and recognize Carl Weathers. Apollo Creed passed away.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of the celebrity deaths, I don't really, respectfully, just a lot of them don't
hit home.
Me. But, Carl Weathers has been in my life since when did you show me Rocky? I was 3?
Probably 3 or 4.
Right? And Rocky came out in 76, so you've known him most of your life.
Yep.
So, Carl Weathers, one that actually has some impact. And Stallone put out a really good video about it.
I need to see that.
It sucks, and we'll miss him.
I did see a tweet. Carl Weathers has never not been cool. Every single character, he's just awesome and cool. And even when he's the bad guy, he's cool. So, future episode, we're going to do best secondary characters in sports movies. I'm just going to give you a little hint. Obviously, Apollo Creed. And then Dennis Hopper in Hoosiers.
Yeah, pretty sure we did that topic not that long ago.
Yeah, but a long time ago. People don't remember that stuff.
A couple months, I think, but that's fine. It was definitely the summer.
Okay, do you have any off the top, or you just want to talk about the lines?
I wanted to talk about Crossing Guards, and I wanted to talk about the Dark Knight trilogy, because I recently rewatched that.
Are you giving it more credit? Because you,
No. You love Dark Knight Rises.
I do love Dark Knight Rises.
I love Dark Knight. That's my biopic, as I'm Batman, right? Not Joker. I just think they're great movies. They're on Netflix. Everyone should just rewatch them because they're awesome. That's good. All I got. That's all I got there.
Okay, acknowledge.
So let's talk about the Lions. We'll start with the Lions versus 49ers game.
Okay, it hurt. Why did it hurt? Because we were better. Listen, we made some mistakes, cost us the game, but they also had some bounces and just some stuff that happened that you play that game 10 times, we win 9 times. We just lost the one game.
Yeah, that's probably, you're right.
So let's get into it. Top reasons why they lost. The drops, especially by Josh.
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off. Can we open with why we got the lead? Can we be positive?
Because we bashed them in the neck over and over and over again.
So let's start with, we'll talk about why the lead was blown, but again, I want this to be very positive.
Reverse to Jamo. Sweet.
That was we're going to talk about our favorite moments of the year. That Jamo end around to the house was glorious, and that's going to be replayed forever.
We were so excited.
That was really awesome. Why else did they get the lead? What are some other factors?
They ran the ball really, really well.
Line of scrimmage dominated. The Niners front, that's just incredibly fraudulent.
So Penei Sewell, who hasn't missed a snap in 3 seasons, he was lining up everywhere and destroying people wherever he went.
Anybody he wanted. He's now all pro.
This Trent Williams stuff. Sorry, Trent is great. Penei's better.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of left and right tackle tape outside of Penei, but yeah, the Pro Football Focus grades say Penei is the best tackle ever, pretty much. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Jared Goff had a very solid game.
That's my Goff. Look, he had time. He had time. So that we're going to talk about why the lead was blown. But Goff in a clean pocket, I trust a fair amount.
And even Goff against the blitz, he's still pretty solid.
He's okay against blitz. Wasn't great in the second half against pressure. That's fine.
Not great.
In the defense, I wrote down made enough plays. They made enough stops. They made enough
totality,
tackles.
yes, they did.
I'm talking about why we got the lead.
Oh, okay. Yes, in the first half.
Now, do we have any other positive stuff from that exact game?
Amon-Ra. He made some plays.
Yeah, before he had the bad drop.
Yeah, it was a bad drop.
Now let's get to the sadness. Let's just address it. Go ahead. Or I will, because I don't know if you have any coherent
I have
ideas.
some sadness.
You don't have any coherent thoughts on the paper. It's all manic.
Yes, but I think I am completely justified in being manic related to the Lions.
But you got to juggle the manicness, if you will, and
listen. I know the
rush.
fans are going to have difficulty believing this, but we are not paid professionals.
Yeah, we are.
We are?
Yeah.
Where do we get money from?
All over the place. Like, here's the deal. Why did we lose? Reynolds had 2 terrible drops just to get that.
Terrible.
Just context terrible. Like, ball hitting hand terrible.
Yeah.
Just really bad drops. Jamo had he dropped a touchdown. That was a touchdown.
Yeah,
he dropped
he
that. And then Amon-Ra had another bad drop. So drops. Those are 4 off the bat that I remember quite well.
Laporta had a drop too. Now,
yeah, probably.
It was a tough one. But he put his hands on it. Wagner or their other linebacker. I don't.
Wagner hasn't played in San Francisco ever, right? So you're thinking of Warner.
Yeah. Warner. I think knocked it out when he was right there. Listen, they've got some beasts on defense, but I got to tell you, Chase Young, who was supposed to be all that, did he play?
Yeah, Chase Young. Well, that's the thing. Like, there's a couple plays, and you saw the replays. It took me some time to go back and rewatch some of the game, but then after like maybe a week or 5 days, I'm like, I'm gonna go back and watch some of this. Just I gotta be able to live with it. The missed tackles stood out. The Lions missed a lot of tackles. Guys that usually don't miss tackles,
Yes,
just
they did.
Missed so many tackles. The Gibbs fumble. So that was just like, that was when it was like, oh, this is how this goes now. Like, the drops, and then they give this up, and then we're gonna fumble out our own 25. That's how the game went, right?
Had a long conversation with Steve Radish about this, and all of these things happened, and we needed 1 or 2 of these things not to happen.
Yeah,
like the Purdy. Oh my gosh, Purdy hasn't run for that much since grade 11 in high school.
Yeah, maybe grade 12.
Maybe grade 12. That was terrible, right? The drops, obviously. The Vildor off the face mask. That was just...
So I just wrote down secondary disaster class. That's the one that sticks out. Yes. Secondary was awful. There were so many collapses late in the game, or throughout the whole second half.
Can you pick on the safeties or just the cornerbacks?
I wrote down secondary because, yeah, the safeties did make some plays for sure. Look, here's the deal. The Vildor thing, if you see that play, like if you see a screenshot of that play and you see where the ball is on Vildor's face,
yep.
Worst case scenario, you're thinking...
Incompletion.
Incompletion.
Could have had it.
And the Niners have the ball way in there, right? That's the worst case scenario.
No, the Lions have the ball deep at their 6-yard line. Like it becomes a punt.
Well... No, if he drops it, then no, it's incomplete. It's not a punt. And then the Niners regain possession. They keep the ball in their own territory.
Correct.
That's the worst case.
That's the worst case.
The most likely case is, sweet, Vildor catches it, and we get the offense out on our own 6. In this...
The karma the planets are aligned all facing San Francisco, it somehow drops into Ayuk's hands.
Yeah, so that was terrible. That was the secondary disaster class, the Vildor play, that was terrible. Purdy scrambles, you talked about... look, Lions against semi-mobile quarterbacks is just a scary thing.
But what this shows is the Lions were coached up. They just didn't execute in the second half.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
they were in position to make those plays. They just didn't. And realistically, other than Hutch or McNeil, nobody on the defensive line can make a play.
I didn't write down Hutch, but look, Hutch did an awesome second half. Like, there was a couple times where he wasn't getting home. That's fine. Speaking of not getting home, pass rush just in general. Didn't get home. It's been an issue all year. That didn't happen. It's first half, there's actually some consistent pressure.
Yep.
Even without blitzing sometimes. The second half, there was not a lot of pressure. Purdy had a lot of time. And when he didn't have time, he was very comfortable saying no to his first read and then stepping up and scrambling. And we saw that a lot. Goff under pressure. Second half, 0 for 8 under pressure. Just terrible. Like, I know you talked about it earlier. You can't have that. You can't win games without competing a throw under pressure. Right?
Correct. Yep.
Now, we've listed all of these things, and what have we not listed? What's not a factor, or not one of the top 6 or 7 factors?
Coaching.
I'll let you, we haven't talked a ton about this, so go ahead.
No, we haven't. So there was really only one play that I disagreed with from Dan Campbell, and that was when he ran the ball on 3rd down with a minute to play. Listen, the odds still would have been against us to score, but you throw the ball incomplete, then you don't have to use a timeout. But what happens is they ran it, they were stopped, they got 4 on 4th down. They were a little bit lucky because Jamo almost didn't catch that ball, the 4th down pass.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is under debate. Everyone recognizes that was stupid, and that was just... And Campbell himself said after the game, like, that was stupid. I wish I didn't do that. I made the wrong decision.
Yep.
The conversation is the fourth down conversions, and that's what we're going to talk about.
So you can debate them all you want. The percentages are slightly in favor of going for it. Now, one of the things I've thought about it after the fact, I've talked to a couple of people about it. The stats don't take into account momentum. So looking back, I would have wished he would have, on the second fourth down, get field goal.
The stats don't take in Ragnow playing on half a leg. The stats don't take down the weather. The stats don't take down the crazy fan in section 112 screaming, right? So the analytics, can say yes or no, but it's incredibly flawed. It does not take into account game flow, does not take into account line of scrimmage
field
dominance.
Conditions.
It doesn't take in any, right? So I don't love, and once I heard that original take, I'm like, yeah, that's right. And then I've just kind of expanded it to like it doesn't take into account if Goff had a good sleep that night, right? So it sounds silly, but legitimately, the whole yes, go for it, no, don't go for it, I don't love on face value. And I think people kind of coming to that now.
Agreed.
As we learn more about analytics.
Yeah.
So did we disagree with the first fourth down decision?
Which, in the second half?
Yeah.
I did not at the time.
Okay. What about the second one?
I disagreed with that.
So,
but not vehemently.
So I didn't the second one just because that was a long-ish field goal. And obviously I don't want to do a whole bit on Badgley here. Look, Lions haven't had great kicking all year. And this was a huge factor of why
Lions
they let
haven't had great kicking for a couple of years since they let Prater go.
Since old man Matt Prater, who I loved. And then I think he got a couple DUIs and he's not a Lion anymore. That's fine. He's a Lions legend though. Let's shout out Matt Prater.
Yeah, shout out Matt Prater.
We're only talking about the fourth down conversions because it was such a big deal for a really long time.
And here's the deal. There's only 2 games played that weekend. If this was a regular season game, that would not have had much run.
Yeah,
that's. So you're overanalyzing the hell out of it because you don't have anything else to talk about, right? You can talk about Patrick Mahomes' dad getting drunk again and driving.
Oh no,
or Dan Campbell going for a fourth down.
I disagree with you there. I think people are talking about it because this is the second biggest football game of the year.
Oh no, I'm not talking the Lions fans. I'm talking in Seattle and
Seattle,
in Dallas.
Yeah, because this is the second biggest football. It doesn't matter that there's only 2 games. There is only 2 games. The winner goes to the soupy, and we can use the S word now pretty freely.
Yeah.
We're only talking about the fourth down conversions because it didn't work. If it worked, you would hear nothing. Let's take you back to the Rams game, like midway second quarter. 13-7 maybe. What was the score? It was 10-7 maybe. The Lions could have went up X amount. I think they could have made it 17-10 with a field goal. That's what it was. They could have made it 17-10 with a field goal. They elected not to. They went for it for the goal, and Laporta got the touchdown to make it 21-10.
Correct.
That worked. No one talked about that.
No, nobody talks about that.
So we're only talking about this because it didn't work.
And that's what they've done all year. They've got there, or they did get there, because of how they played. They played aggressive. Like, there was a couple of the fourth down, go for it, fake punt that didn't work out well. But generally, the Lions had success with going for it and being aggressive. And again, here's where the stats don't take into account. Because the Lions are more aggressive, it makes other teams have to think more and take more risks because you never know what the Lions are going to do.
Well, that's another thing. If we substituted a random NFL offense in place of the Lions offense, and let's say that like one of those fourth down conversions, the analytics would remain the exact same. It wouldn't favor the fact that the Lions go for it a ton and thus likely have a higher percentage because they know what they're doing.
A genius offensive coordinator in Ben Johnson who dials up plays.
We'll talk about Ben in a minute.
That's also relevant.
So we only talk about the fourth down conversions when it doesn't work. I want to stress that. I have nothing else on that game itself. Look, it's terrible. It's an absolute travesty. Like, I couldn't picture a worse headline to wake up to than what we woke up to Monday morning, right? Historic Niners comeback, Lions. Like, that's the worst, literally the worst possible headline to read. And then look, you want to take the game away. If you're telling us 2 weeks ago, 1 month ago, 5 years ago, 3, whatever, hey, we're gonna lose to the NFC. We're gonna lose in the NFC Championship at San Francisco, and you guys are gonna think you should have won
by a field goal.
Sure. All right, I will take that. Sure. And I will take that, and that's why this season was
last year. We couldn't compete with these teams. Could not.
Towards the end of the year, I think they showed a lot. But yes, I see what
San Francisco, we couldn't compete with them.
Yeah, with no Gibbs, no Laporta, no Gardner Johnson. Yeah, I agree. Look, this was a really great season, and I want to stress, future failures will not take away from this season. By that I mean, Lions might not be in the NFC Championship game next year. They might not be in the divisional round next week.
Correct.
Next week.
Yeah,
That could happen.
They could have bounces come against them, injuries. You never know.
But here's kind of my thing, and I'm going to do a little nerd bit here with a movie comparison. People are always so anti-sequel because they say it'll take away from the first one. Whereas I'm like, no, the first one can rock, and a crappy sequel can just be its own entity.
Oh, I agree. Listen, a bad sequel does not mean the first movie was poor in any way.
Predator 2 is one of my least favorite movies ever. But Predator 1 is awesome, and I will watch that, and I do not think about Predator 2. I just watch Predator 1, I'm like, this is sick. And this is what this is, right? Let's say next season isn't great. I think it will be. I think it will be better.
Predators? Actually, that was not so bad.
That's like Predator 3, I think, and that's not
3 or
terrible.
4, it was not terrible.
That's not really the point of the conversation here.
Nope.
Rocky 5 doesn't make me hate Rocky 4. That's right. You see
That's
how that
a
works?
great example. That's a great example.
Thank you. I just came up with that one.
Yeah, that was good. Good pull.
So here's my thing. It's its own thing. This season was awesome. This season was so special. There's so many positive memories and all this great stuff from this season. Next season will not take away from this season.
Agreed.
Thank you for that. Now you keep going.
Do we want to talk about the coaches for a moment or two? The Ben Johnson stuff?
We can talk about that, or we can talk
let's talk about Ben Johnson coaches, then we'll go into our top moments.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Ben Johnson, he's the big man on campus. Like, I think if you don't know, there's been lots of back and forth. And Ben Johnson, for the last 2 seasons, has been the guy. Washington Commanders, last couple weeks, okay, they're going to settle on Ben Johnson once the Lions get eliminated from the playoffs.
We were completely
we were under the impression that we were going to lose Ben Johnson.
And maybe Glenn.
Correct. Ben Johnson decided, I'm going to stay home. I'm with the Lions. I am the big man on campus. Probably still making over a couple $1 million a year. I don't exactly know what he's making.
No idea what he's making.
But serious coin. He's still able to go on vacations, driving his car, yada. He decided to stay home. So the Commanders and a bunch of other jagoffs started to be talking trash about him. Ben evidently said they're basketball guys. I'd rather stay home with football guys.
You probably have more because no one's going to understand that, right? This is referencing the new ownership and leadership that run the Commanders that are from the Golden State Warriors, world-renowned basketball team, now running the Washington Commanders, the football team. So that's what that comment means. They said,
"Thank you for the clarification, Youngblood."
Well, I think a lot of people would be confused by what that meant.
Correct.
If you're not in the loop of who's running this poverty franchise,
they're listening to the show because they either want to get in the loop or it's confirming the things that they probably thought.
Yeah, we have to have Uncle Dante on because Uncle Dante just has really good takes about us, and it's just quite funny.
He does, yeah.
You wouldn't love
Uncle
them.
Dante on.
You wouldn't, because...
Oh, no, he's like, I didn't know you guys were absolute lunatics.
Yeah, well, that's kind of... At this point, it's just public that we're both... I try not to be super manic about the Lions, but, evidently I am.
I'm not successful in that venture.
Yeah, we're over 2 on the not trying to be manic this episode. That's fine. We're past that. This 18 minutes, we're manic.
True that.
So the Commanders, they said it was a money thing, or they said he didn't nail his interview. Then they said he was asking too much, and then they said that he's rubbing people the wrong way by calling. Look, it's a bunch of garbage that basically the Commanders are leaking to Schefter and all these athletic guys.
Yeah, and Adam Schefter bid on it. I don't know why he does that, just because he wants clicks.
No, because he has his contacts in the front. It's the same reason why Woj was the Trailblazers GM and owner's mouthpiece during the whole Dame saga. It's just these guys are buddies and they work with each other to spew headlines and politics out there.
Spin it.
And I hate it. And it was really evident with the whole Trailblazers thing when they were trying to crap Miami and Pat Riley, and that was just ugly. Sorry, side quest. How's that working out, Portland Trailblazers? Golly, DeAndre dominating? Come on. I don't want to talk about that, but that's actually fascinating.
Yeah.
So back to this. Ben Johnson, he's staying. We thought he was leaving. He's staying. We cannot overstress how big of a deal this is.
I'm going to tell you that I'm a little surprised at how much love Aaron Glenn has received because, I think he's done okay the last couple of years, but, players named him the #1 coordinator in football, which I was pretty surprised at. And obviously, that's relevant when you're picking a head coach. But we got our guys back. It shows you the Lions culture and people want to stay. Who's that dude that they picked up?
I need a little more details.
No, the other coach who got let go, and they're like, immediately he signed with the Lions.
Oh, the defensive lines coach.
Yes.
I was reading that today. I forget his name, but I did read that today.
But it shows you people want to play for the Lions.
Yeah, Brad Holmes' press conference.
So I play for or coach with the Lions.
I encourage people to watch a couple minutes of Holmes' press conference, his end-of-year press conference. It was great.
Great. And he's obviously, he kept receipts. because he is cashing those receipts in now.
Yeah, like he called out some reporters for trashing their picks, but then he also said, like, I hold myself accountable and all of the right things, all the things Weaver doesn't say. That's fine. Aaron Glenn. So the Aaron Glenn thing, confusing that, players love this guy. I don't understand defensive schemes in the NFL enough to say, like, he's a bad DC, we should fire him. I just kind of, look, here's where I'm at. It's probably a personnel thing. He probably has some really good schemes. He's probably a really good dude in the locker room. If he had some talent on the back end, the Lions defense might be good. That's kind of where I'm at.
Obviously, the next 3 months are going to be super interesting with the draft that's going to be Detroit. That is going to be amazing. We don't really have a game plan as to what we're going to do other than go there and be crazy, right?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'll do this now.
Okay.
The draft's coming to Detroit.
Yeah.
It's cool. They have a thing outside Shake Shack that's like in the ground that says the draft's coming here. Tell me why this is cooler than hosting a divisional round game.
It's not.
Why does everyone act like it is? Everybody talks about this draft, and I want to go. And
Sorry,
I think
are those people that have not been to a divisional round game?
Perhaps. All I know is
the 2 playoff games that we went to were epic. And the draft will be entertaining because there'll be lots of people down there. But it's not even in the same category.
That's kind of where I'm at. But
Okay.
a lot of people, like, every time the draft's coming to Detroit, I see the ads, I see people taking the pictures with the thing. I just don't get it.
I like it because it gives us some NFL buzz, when there's no other NFL buzz.
Yeah, like, it will be cool to go to. I would like to go. But I just don't understand. Like, yeah, that's fine. And people were talking about the draft during the season where it's like, yeah, it's cool. Let's go win a divisional round game. Let's go host a championship round. Like, that's kind of where I get that's a little different. And people really love the draft coming to Detroit. And again, so do I. I just think, like, seeing them beat the Bucks in the divisional round game is going to be cooler than watching them pick, 29th overall.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
Can we talk about how on paper they should be better next year?
I think I did wrote a couple points down there. The Lions chose not to put their eggs in this year's basket. And they're running it forward, right? They didn't trade for Chase Young, which now looks really good. Now, the dude that Chicago traded for, Montez Sweat, did I say that right?
Yeah, good work.
He looks pretty good. But the Lions said, we're not rolling the dice here. We're going to roll with our guys and keep lots of money. I don't know, $60 million in cap room.
Yeah, it's like 62
They're
or
going to have to
something.
they're going to go after some guys, and I think they should be able to get a couple players. Obviously, everybody knows they need at least one cornerback, at least one defensive end, and then you can debate. They probably need a guard, but
for sure.
They're lined up really well for the future. Now, having drafting so well the last 3 years means they've got a lot of guys in rookie contracts. That's why they're have so much cap space.
Yeah, like people talk about the cap space, whatever. We're going to extend Goff.
Cap space is a lot more relevant in basketball in football than it is in basketball.
Yeah, I guess. But look, here's the thing with cap space and lines. We're extending Goff. We're extending Panay. We're extending Amon-Ra.
Yep.
All 3 things are likely to happen this offseason, let alone, the Jonah Jackson question mark, the Graham Glasgow question mark, the Gardner Johnson question mark. So it's not like we're going to be able to just be like, I would like to go after
Darius Sneed and all those guys, Chase Young, and
look, they might go and get a big name guy, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of the talent is
they'll get
in-house.
either one big name D end or one big name cornerback, and then the other guys are just plug and play.
So you think that's what it'll be? You think it'll be like one pivotal, like, impact defensive guy, and we retain all of our guys?
Yep,
that's good with me for sure.
And then they'll sign, a third string cornerback, and then draft somebody. So they, hope it works out. So they got, Sutton and a couple other guys.
Yeah, see, the fact that we can name one cornerback that can go into next year, and we're only naming him because he's under contract, kind of shows you that they need to address secondary in the draft, especially.
Vildor's got to practice catching the ball off of his helmet.
So you talked about the cap space. I would like to talk about the idea that Goff has another year with Ben Johnson to get to know him, and another year with all these weapons is a huge deal.
It's
right?
a huge deal.
Like, Gibbs is going to have a whole offseason.
The majority of their offensive line is still going to be there. Gibbs and Jamo, those guys are just going to be like running patterns for Goff in California. It's going to be awesome.
Yep. Like, I want people to talk more about that.
Is that a real thing? I think it is.
What?
Does Goff, bring everybody out and run patterns in California?
He's a California guy.
Okay.
So I was right about that. We're going to make that up and say that, yes, as we speak, Goff is currently throwing patterns.
And we're going to leak some information about that all the time.
Yeah, to Schefter. Mouthpiece. So I just want to emphasize, it's another year of these guys in the same locker room. Now everyone's so in. I will say, do you want to talk about the Lions' top moments now?
Yeah, right now. I was getting excited. I'm like, okay, we need to talk about some of these top moments because there's a lot of great moments.
Okay. Do you want to go chronological? That's how I laid mine out.
Oh, I didn't lay mine out. Why don't you just say one and then I'll say another one?
Okay. Week 1, Branch's pick 6.
Oh, come on. That's what I had.
This was awesome. This was
Okay.
at a watch party we had at an undisclosed location. Just awesome. And this was like, oh, Brian Branch is just always making the right
That
play.
was a great watch party, and that was a really good setting, not only for the Lions fans, but our watch party and the group that was there was a lot of fun. It created a lot of momentum with, I guess, the Chutner and the greater South Windsor Lions community.
Yeah, we went out to, there was a couple like Aberg guys. It was beyond just South
Yeah, it was
Windsor.
good. LaSalle, we had some LaSalle content.
Week 5 versus the Panthers. Hutch's one-handed INT. Where he just
that was pretty sweet.
stabbed at it, and it was like, wow, like Bryce Young, like he's terrible. That was kind of that revelation. But the Hutch INT, loved that moment.
That was awesome. I got to throw one in here, and I think it's around this time afterwards. The Reynolds block downfield.
Great call.
That was amazing, and that typifies the Lions and how they played. So again, if you don't remember any of these things, you just need to Google top 10 Lions moments of the year. I'm sure they'll pop up. The list is likely not as good as ours, but basically it was a 15-yard completion down the field to Amon-Ra. Reynolds was in the backfield. Amon-Ra.
Craig Reynolds.
Yeah, Craig Reynolds is juking guy. Reynolds runs down the field and does a flying block to free Amon-Ra for the touchdown. And we were so pumped about the block, we didn't even know Amon-Ra had scored a touchdown until after the play.
Yeah, that's
we're
true.
just losing our mind. It was spectacular.
That was the Tampa game. The first Tampa game, that was great.
Yep.
Another one here. Week 11 versus the Bears. This was the Hutch strip sack, balls roll in the end zone. Hutch
Yeah. That was
pushes
awesome.
the offensive lineman,
Pushes the off- and then
kicks the ball.
Kicks the ball out of the end zone. That
Just
was
great.
a great finish.
And I kind of have a vendetta against the Bears in field, so that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
That was another Hutch.
Sorry,
thing.
Urban Paul. That was bad.
Is he a Bears?
He's a Bears fan
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
Just because it's the Chicago thing?
because it's a Chicago thing.
Okay, that's tough.
It's
Sorry,
weird.
that's
it's
tough.
It's a little weird.
Do you have another one?
Yeah, the interception by Iffy.
That's week 16 off Mullins.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was so good.
That was so good.
That was to win the North.
And then, and what you did is you went and you got the clip of the Favre interception. And then, I don't know,
Different
I don't know
moment,
how many
but
years
that's
ago.
fine. Yeah.
Wasn't that it?
No, that was the Jordan Love bit in the
Oh,
playoffs.
that's right. That's true. That's true.
But the iffy INT to win the North, that was pretty sweet. And that
Yep.
was Mullins' fourth of the game. Like that was a bonker. That Vikings game, you go back look at that. That was a crazy, crazy game. Okay, so the wild card game is where I'm at now.
I've got a couple things.
Yeah.
The crowd was unbelievable. It's 2.5 hours before the game, and the place is packed and losing their minds. And
Humming. Place is humming.
and you saw the interviews afterwards where Dan Campbell walked out and said the place was already full and it was buzzing.
Yeah, like literally an hour before, 45 minutes before. It wasn't just buzzing. Like 90% of people were in their seats.
Yep.
Like everyone was just ready to watch the
Now
introduction.
it was freezing cold outside, so there wasn't a lot of tailgating. People were like, okay, I'm just going to go inside.
Yeah, that's a good take.
Yeah. And then the fans chanting, Jared Goff, and how that spread all over the place. And it's interesting for multiple reasons, because I think it was a passive-aggressive way of saying, sorry, Matt Stafford, we have moved on from you. Good luck, Matt.
3 angles. Go ahead.
Yeah, so good luck, Matt. Jared Goff, he is our quarterback. He's our guy, and he's the guy who's going to take us to the promised land. So that showed a lot of love and support for Jared Goff. And then what it did, it translated to just about every other venue you can think of, and you can name those better than I could, just to show how much the Lions' roar, pride, grit, whatever you want to call it, spread throughout Michigan.
Yeah, that was when...
We could go to the volleyball game on Thursday with Uncle Dante and probably start a Jared Goff chant, and it would pick up some steam.
Yeah, the Goff stuff was great. That was when the city was like all in. Like, you're our guy. You're our guy. We don't care about the other guy on
Campbell's
the other sideline.
speech at the end. Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
Obviously the moment when I remember that game, when I'll remember that for the next 80 years. Maybe 60, 80 years, whatever.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra's first down to win the game.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
That's the one I'll remember. Tears in my eyes watching that play.
Tears, not in my eyes. Tears all over my face.
After the play, it was just a breakdown. I didn't even see Goff sit. I didn't even get to see Goff pump the crowd up. I was already on the distraught.
Yeah.
So that was great. Divisional round. I have 2 moments about the game, not about sneaking down or wherever.
The sneaking down was actually pretty cool. The 4 of us in 2 seats row 14, row 45-yard line, and the energy in that fourth quarter, that was amazing.
The Gibbs go-ahead touchdown, the roof just blew off the place.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Barnes INT just to
Yeah, the
clinch
Barnes
it.
INT was it.
So those are my divisional round games. And then when I think about the championship game, the Jamo
I wrote
touchdown.
down Jamo.
So do you remember the bit about Shawshank Redemption and the song they played? Do you remember Jake Goldman and what?
No, I don't remember that.
So he texted me like the morning before the game and said like
The morning before which game?
before the Niners game.
Okay.
Like that morning, he texted me and said something like, when Jamo scores a 40-yard, 50-yard touchdown, I'm going to blare this song.
No way.
And the song was Marriage of Figaro, which is the song that Andy Dufresne plays.
Ooh. Oh, that's awesome.
So that's the song when he goes in the room, and that's just been our theme song. So that was like that.
When you say your theme song, you mean you and Goldie.
Yeah, and Jamo, and now like the lines here like that.
Okay, that's cool.
Andy Dufresne just locks the room and just starts blaring the music.
Yeah, if you don't know that cut, then you just need to watch
That wasn't
Shawshank
super
again.
deep, I don't think. Like, watch Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, watch Shawshank Redemption.
People. It's on
When he
Netflix.
played the opera music for everybody.
And then like he describes, you can't take music away. Go watch Shawshank Redemption. It's on Netflix.
Okay, true.
So the Jamo touchdown is my favorite moment of that Niners game. But I won't be watching any highlights from that anytime soon.
Okay. Let's just touch on Ravens-Chiefs.
I agree. Let's talk about Ravens-Chiefs.
Lamar and the Ravens didn't make enough plays in offense and had so many stupid plays on defense, they deserved to lose that game. And like the final score was closer than the game indicated. The Chiefs could have put more points on the board, but they just took it easy and realized, listen, Baltimore's just shooting themselves in the foot. We're just going to let them shoot away. Casey ran long drives in the first half, a 10-play drive and a 16-play drive. What a great way to take the air out of a stadium and an MVP candidate.
MVP. He's
MVP,
winning it.
yeah, he's going to win it for sure. But here's the Mahomes magic. I think playing Patrick Mahomes is unsettling because you are aware of the fact that he's going to make a lot of great plays, and it puts extra pressure on you to make those plays. And obviously, spoiler alert, that's going to be relevant to my Super Bowl pick.
Take the episode. That was really good. Yeah, the Mahomes piece of this is great. Knowing Mahomes is on the sideline.
By the way, I came up with that on my own. No podcast stuff.
That's
or
impressive.
anything.
Yeah, that's you usually just steal other people's work. So
I often do that. Yeah.
The Ravens' game plan was really weird. Basically, the plan was we're not going to run the ball and we're not going to let Lamar run the ball. It was just like throwing these kind of intermediate throws, but they're not even good in the intermediate game. It was very, very strange. Chiefs played great. Like they're awesome. They're kind of they're playing the best football they played all year. I agree.
Listen, we don't need to talk about the singer, but the Mahomes to Kelsey combo, they just step up in the playoffs, and you give Kelsey 2 more weeks to get healthy again. Again, Super Bowl, it's going to be very relevant.
So the Lamar playoff stuff, like it's there. It is the.
So that's my question for you. What do the Ravens do?
Oh, you run it back.
I agree. That's what I said.
With
you have
everything.
to run it back. That core, they have a lot of great players. Kyle Hamilton is a freak. Lamar is the MVP. They got some receivers. Listen, Andrews played, but I don't think he was healthy. Having healthy Andrews makes a big difference.
Yeah, he was like a no-show. He must have still been really hurt.
Yeah.
People aren't remembering that the Ravens were on like their 3rd and 4th string running backs. They didn't have Keaton Mitchell, the rookie, and they didn't have J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
So like healthy Ravens. They did lose Mike McDonald, right? This was the Michigan guy who was the Ravens DC.
Yep.
He took the Seattle job.
That's
so
right.
they're losing him. If anything, the Eagles showed how important losing coordinators
Absolutely.
are. Just to bring back to the Lions there, right? Like the Eagles lost both coordinators and were in shambles all year. Not all, like, even when they were winning, we kind of were like, this is weird. Lions are keeping their coordinators. So just there, go Lions.
Go Lions.
I don't hate Mahomes and the Chiefs like a lot of people do, and you don't either.
No, and honestly, all of the 4 teams in the championship series, I like the organizations. I respect the organizations, right? Like, if Green Bay had been there, if Dallas had been there, we would
Bunch of
have
convicts.
been angry. The war criminals.
Terrorists.
War criminals, terrorists. Yeah, the whole deal.
Extremists.
But,
radicals.
Listen, Casey's a great organization. Reed and Mahomes, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Harbaugh, obviously, in Baltimore.
People hate Mahomes.
Because he's successful, like people hated Gretzky. Or I don't know why people hate Mahomes. So
you
he's
don't-
amazing.
You don't get it because you're not like it's social media hate is where it all comes from, right? It's a mix of
Did they hate him last year?
kind of. The more he wins, the more they hate him. It's because of his
Okay.
family.
His family's
really.
pretty annoying, right?
Yeah, but like, again, like,
But everybody's family's annoying if you're in that level, because...
yeah, that doesn't make me hate him.
Listen, if you were a all-star NBA player, people would hate me because I'd be in the front row losing my mind every single game.
So to do that bit, so John Morant, you wouldn't be like John Morant's dad. Because John Morant's dad is the one that like encourages him to go and hang with the bad guys and do the bad things. Halliburton's dad, if you want to look up a cool sports dad, Halliburton's dad just wears like his jersey and like custom Halliburton shirts and just like, Tyreek's my son. Like he just goes around and he's really nice. Everyone likes him. You'd be like that, not like John Morant Sr. or T. Morant. That's his name.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Super Bowl now.
Okay, so same bit earlier. Mahomes puts intense pressure on the other quarterback because they're aware that he's going to force them, that he's going to make some amazing plays, so they have to push it a little bit. Watching the game, watching Purdy play against the play against the Lions, a couple of times I mentioned they don't want Purdy to win this. They don't want Purdy to make the big plays, throw lots of conservative stuff. So this is bad news for Purdy. He's going to force some turnovers. Now, here's the X factor. There's a couple X factors here. In the playoffs, Mahomes has completed 70% of his passes, 11 touchdowns, 0 turnovers. That's good stats.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with this. Go ahead.
San Francisco has elite players in offense and defense. So if San Francisco is able to avoid the blitzes and dump offs to Debo, Ayuk, CM3, Kittle, then it's going to work. But I just think that, KC's going to get their hands on the ball. Jones is going to make some plays. Again, this is an assumption that KC's receivers, especially Rice, is going to step up. The guy who's injured, not injured, Toney, what's his deal? Is he even going to dress?
We're going to stay away from that one. I don't expect him to dress, but that's a pretty sensitive one that I'm going to stay away from. I don't think Toney will play.
It's sensitive because he's not right?
Because he is extremely mentally ill, and you do the whole Antonio Brown comparison there. Like, that's a thing.
Le'Veon Bell's coming back, by the way.
Okay, did he say that?
He said that.
Jeez.
But he only wants to play for Pittsburgh.
Oh,
who
really?
has 2 running backs already.
That are good.
That are good, yeah. Warren and Najee Harris.
Yeah, good work.
Nice.
Okay, so I was on my phone there if anyone saw it. I was looking at the updated spread. It's Niners minus 1.5.
Okay.
It started at 2. It's kind of been like,
I thought it dropped down to 1.
It's been hovering between 2 and 1 all week. It's Super Bowl. There's so much money on the lines fluctuating. I'm usually pretty good at understanding, like, the lines are 7.5-point dog in San Francisco. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
After, that's settled in, I get it. San Fran's good. Neutral field, how are the Niners favored? I think Kansas City should be favored, and they are my pick, and I'm pretty confident in that. This might age horribly, but genuinely.
Betting line relevant?
I just don't
encourage some juice? I don't really know.
I don't understand how the Chiefs are the dog.
Did you put money down on this?
No, I don't know if I'm going to bet on it. That's a different thing.
Well, we do have another question coming up.
We do. We'll get there in a minute. Okay. I'm genuinely asking. Like, I want the people to say if I'm wrong or stupid.
How would you like the people to communicate to you, Isaac?
You can tell them.
Okay. We are on all the platforms.
Don't give away our address.
All the platforms. No, don't stop at our house. But
depending.
You said, yeah.
Open door.
Blake and Braden, come on by whenever.
Yeah,
Amadeo,
okay.
come by whenever. Evan, come by whenever. Tom, too.
Yeah, any of the uncles.
Yeah,
there's some
any
people.
of the uncles.
Open
all those
door
people.
policy.
Cousins, yeah. Lost my train of thought for a second.
We're going to talk about, we're talking about where you can contact us.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Google Play.
Sure.
Apple.
Yeah, good Instagram page.
Really good Instagram page.
Yeah.
The Truth with T and I.
Yeah, that's right. So I generally, I don't understand why the Niners are favored. I'm trying to understand it.
So we want the fans to tell us why the Niners are favored.
Or, no, they can say, like, yeah, you're right, Isaac. I don't know why the Niners... Or you can be like, no, like, the Niners should be favored.
Okay, fair enough. I have another request for the fans.
Okay.
We do have some future episodes that we're going to have to...
You can end the show with that manic bit. Okay?
Fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the Super Bowl.
I get a little excited.
Yep, we're talking about Super Bowl right now.
See, I ate dinner. He didn't eat dinner because the school schedule was
I think
goofy.
you can tell the people what happened before they... Like, I think that's fair.
Well, you tell them.
Okay.
Mom, she's going to be mad at me.
Okay. So I rushed home from school, and we have to record because I have basketball later, and I have to study.
Coming in hot.
And I have to watch basketball. Like, there's lots of things. So I come home, and then I go downstairs, and as soon as I go downstairs, Mom just announces, shout out Mom.
Shout out, Mom. Thanks for everything.
So,
Support.
for real. She announces.
It's a good chance that she's not watching because we are 39 minutes in, but somebody's going to tell her. So, fans, don't tell her.
So she announces, like, don't
Just
come.
say, the boys talked really nice things about you.
Yeah, she says, don't come upstairs. I just washed the floor. It's like, I haven't eaten in days. We're about to record. I need something. There's food in the fridge, which I look forward to eating.
Nicely wrapped and prepared.
Yeah. But, like, I needed to go. So I'm like, I'm going to go walk on the wet floor.
And you might have the burger with smoked Gouda on it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ripped the protein bar out. Just shoved that down my throat before we started. And I'm like, it's like, I just ate it really quickly.
Oh, no, I had 3 courses. I had dessert. I had a coffee. It was wonderful.
So I just injected a protein bar in my veins and hit record. So that's where we're at now.
Pretty much. So if you're wondering why the energy level is a little different, that's one of the good reasons why.
The Niners,
Isaac's on a cleanse.
The Niners lucked into 2 games, right? Like the Niners lucked into beating Green Bay. Most people agree.
Agreed.
And then they lucked into beating Detroit.
Agreed.
How are they going to beat Kansas City?
I think people are looking at their all-stars, looking at CM3, and Debo's going to be healthy, and Bosa, and corpse of Chase Young. I don't really understand.
Here's my rule. If Mahomes is in the Super Bowl, you pick him to win.
Yeah, when are people going to stop picking against Mahomes?
It's
like picking against Brady.
I knew the Brady thing was going to come up. Look, like obviously he's not Brady, but the resume is likely going to be in the stratosphere of Montana and Brady.
You would think so.
So my pick, I'm picking Kansas City because it's Mahomes, and it's amplified because I think the Niners are a tad fraudulent for a Super Bowl team. Here's another thing. Everyone was like, Ravens are so good. Ravens are so good. I don't know. Kansas City just beat Baltimore, so wouldn't that...
They beat them like a drum.
And then you do a lot of people were on Buffalo, me included, foolishly.
Sure. Yeah.
And then Kansas City shut them up, too.
I think you should stop picking against Mahomes.
That's where I'm at. Do we want to talk... What do you want to talk about? Ask the question. Go ahead.
Are you going to watch the game? Are you going to watch Super Bowl?
So I don't want to. At all. For a couple reasons. One, I don't like what the Super Bowl has turned into.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Isaac? Here's what I mean. It's just this fake media. It's just a product. It's like Fight Club.
If you take all of the... What you make... Not... You mean Fight Club or My Fight Club?
No. Fight Club, the movie. Where he just talks kind of about like corporate
Nonsense.
greed. And it's just like it's what it is. It's just like it's not a football game. It's an event. It's a cultural thing.
The nice thing is, I don't even know who's playing at halftime of the game. And I don't care.
You don't?
Nope.
Wow, that's impressive. That's actually kind of astonishing.
It's not relevant for me.
It's like, Usher.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Usher.
Because I don't care.
And I don't either, but like, man, it would have been
But
nice
everybody would kind of know that.
Yeah, I'm shocked you don't actually.
If Detroit was going, did you know that Eminem was going to go on?
That's fake and made up.
Completely fake and made up.
Yep. So I don't like the Super Bowl. I don't like what it is. It's not a football game. It's like it's a concert.
I don't know what I'm going to do. We could watch it here, watch some uncles. Ticket prices have dropped
to the Super Bowl.
That's because the lines are not going.
They were at like 9 to 10,000. Now it's at 6,000. So it's like come down a bit. Which the fact that it's 6,000 to go and watch a football game.
Do they have standing room at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, like can we get in for a good number at Super Bowl? So I don't want to watch it. I kind of want to boycott it. Hashtag boycott Super Bowl 58. I have some buddies on board. And Coach Rob
I don't know if I'm going to watch it. Like Radovich has a party generally. You could go there, and I don't generally like to go to the parties because I want to watch.
If I watch it, it will not be at a party. I can assure you that.
Well, this is actually the year to go to a party and watch it because it's okay.
No, I know. If I go to a party, I'm just going to be dialed in watching the game. I'm not going to be socializing and eating. Like I'm going to be watching football.
Okay.
Do we want? I have some props that I like. I thought this would come up. Do you not? We don't have to talk about this.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. I'm in on Pacheco. Game script.
On whatever?
Touchdown and yards, right? It's like 67 yards. Like I'm in on Pacheco.
Okay. What touchdown is like half a touchdown over under kind of deal?
Yeah, like it. Sure. Purdy's going to throw a pick. Game script. Purdy's going to throw a pick. Rashee Rice is going to have to be involved. He's a rookie. Rookie in the Super Bowl is scary.
Correct. No, he's going to have to be involved. Kelsey's going to get tons of attention.
Kelsey's so easy to bet on. So right, the Swift stuff, the game stuff. He was so good last week. And then the Purdy rushing attempts and yards. That's still pretty low. Like people are kind of saying.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
It's scary betting on a quarterback rushing yards.
Bolton is going to lay him out.
I said it's scary because like if there's 3 victory formations and he loses 2 yards each snap, right?
True.
So, but I think Purdy's going to move a bit. I don't want to watch Super Bowl. I might. Dan Campbell says we should. I don't know if you saw that.
No. Well, in Dan we trust.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell tells me to watch Super Bowl and watch the Super Bowl.
He told the players to. So it's
So
almost...
we're on the team.
Okay. He
We,
says
we
that...
help them win.
He says use it as fuel and motivation.
Yeah, rocket fuel. It's tackling fuel.
So part of me is like...
Gatorade.
Yeah, next couple weeks, we're going to do Lions off-season stuff. We'll
Yeah,
talk
we're going to
about
do Lions off-season stuff.
closer to the draft.
I had a dude come up to me today at this fancy thing in Detroit. He said, I got to come and meet you. And I said, Mr. Sheridan, nice meeting you. And he's like, you're the guy who does the Lions podcast? Like, this is 63-year-old vice president of sales from some Cadillac company.
Okay, before you say anything bad, we're going to stop it because I just feel like you're just on the verge of saying
No,
something
it's just,
you shouldn't.
It's just a little bit exciting
a little bit.
but, like, we're gaining some momentum. So the question is for the fans, you want us to talk about the Lions in the offseason. We will do that. We're not going to every single week talk about the Lions in the offseason, but we're going to have to talk about basketball, NBA All-Stars, trade deadline stuff, Detroit Tigers spring training.
We're not talking about the Tigers.
We're going to talk about the Tigers.
If they're above 500 after game 5, then we can. No, I'm serious. That's
Okay.
a rule, right? You can write that down. If they're 3-2, we'll talk about the Tigers.
Read a good stat today.
Wow.
Matsui, not Matsui. Who's the
I'm just going to stop it. Like
the dude who hit
Matt Tuiasosopo.
No, he played in Japan for a really long time. Okay, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna have to go.
You're
back
going to
to
just
this
say
next
something out of
episode.
pocket that you can't say
No, it
on
was good.
air.
He basically hit 300 for his entire career.
Okay, we're just going to end the show before you cancel us.
Other fun stuff, fans. While you tell us why the Niners are favored, you want to tell us other fun stuff that you would like us to record about.
He has so much bad stuff written on his
Movie
paper.
villains and ice cream flavors again, and roll up the sandwiches and all that kind of good stuff.
Sure.
Those-
Yeah,
those-
let us
that's
know.
Good content. Let us know.
Let us know.
Not let us raps. Let us know.
I'm just going to stop right now.
Yeah, probably good
I
time
need
to
to
stop.
eat, and you need to not cancel us.
Yeah, not canceled. Peace out, everybody.